Would you spend 5 nights at Freddy's? Freddy and the gang? Adorable.
Tell me you're not serious.
I'd spend 5 nights at Freddy's just to show them how a real animatronic handles business.
Are you sure about that?
Spoiler alert! I'd be the only one left standing.
You'd be the only one dead. Now I'm going to tell you exactly why M3GAN would be incrediboned in this situation. She's not going to be able to take down all 5 of the animatronics. We're going to include Golden Freddy here. Because she's not even going to make it past Freddy Fazbear himself. Alright? M3GAN is a little child-sized robot, okay? Yeah, M3GAN's faster than the Fazbear Band, and she's smarter. But the moment that Freddy Fazbear, or any of these characters, gets their paws on M3GAN, she's done. She's out of here. She's gonna be broken beyond repair. Gemma gonna have to rebuild her a brand new body, okay? That is where it ends, okay? Freddy is gonna rip her in half and crush her head in his hand. It'll be over, done. Now, I do want to take some time to actually humor the argument that M3GAN could win, even though she really isn't. Want to give the benefit of the doubt here. So I'm going to use generalized knowledge of the Fazbear Band here, rather than just simply something from the games, the movies, or the books. I'm going to combine everything together. Alright, so the M3GAN that I'm going to use for this battle is going to be M3GAN 2.0, because it's the strongest M3GAN that we have thus far in the M3GAN movies, and I feel like it would fare more against the animatronics. Alright, we see that M3GAN is able to crawl across walls pretty nimbly. M3GAN is also extremely flexible. M3GAN is extremely strong, able to punch through solid steel, so that's pretty crazy. M3GAN has also the ability to control weapons, whether this be sharp objects or guns. And M3GAN is also extremely agile and smart. This is probably one of her better things, is that M3GAN is extremely smart. So M3GAN is very strong when it comes to the upgrades that she received in the second M3GAN movie. Very durable, very fast, is able to think her way out of problems, and of course is able to wield weapons. The animatronics are shown to be incredibly powerful, as we see Freddy in the silver eyes being able to lift up tables and throw them across the room like they were nothing. He was also able to go head-to-head with the evil Twisted Freddy, tearing him limb from limb. This goes with the rest of the animatronics, who are also shown to be able to hold their own against William Afton's evil Twisted animatronics. In addition, Foxy is able to run really fast and has almost an animalistic fighting style. He is shown to be able to use his hook as a weapon, stabbing and slashing at people, and can even bite people. He's also shown to run at his enemies and jump on them, making him extremely fast and hard to deal with. When we get to Golden Freddy is extremely paranormal. He has that mastery of paranormal abilities, able to teleport, make his opponent hallucinate, and do all kinds of trippy stuff with his ghostly powers. And of course, we have a 6th animatronic in the form of Chica's Cupcake. Mr. Cupcake, in the only form of media where he's alive, which is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, is shown to be incredibly aggressive and can also be told to do various things on behalf of the other animatronics. Point in question, they can kind of tell him what to do. And the animatronics are incredibly tall. They have that size advantage over M3GAN, as the animatronics are shown to tower over Mike, who is an adult man in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Alright, so starting off with M3GAN versus Mr. Cupcake. Actually, I'm going to give this to M3GAN, because I can definitely see Mr. Cupcake attacking M3GAN, and I think M3GAN would get slightly damaged during this encounter, but ultimately I think M3GAN could like kill Mr. Cupcake by like forcing his jaws open and like ripping him in half, okay? Yeah, she's still gonna get damaged, but she's gonna keep on chugging for the next animatronic with minor damages to her physical body. Next up, we have Chica the Chicken, and I'm gonna put this in Freddy Fazbear's kitchen because I feel like M3GAN can make use of some weapons inside of the kitchen, some improvised weapons, and even with that, I don't think M3GAN is gonna do much against Chica, who is massive compared to M3GAN. Despite being very slow, Chica is extremely strong. And even if M3GAN is able to knock down some metal shelving on top of the animatronic or use a knife or some kind of pizza cutter, I don't think she's going to be inflicting wounds or damage because it's a robot that will put the animatronic out of business. I think at most she could probably punch a few dents inside of the animatronic and maybe scratch it up a bit, but I don't think she's going to be doing anything against Chica in this case, even with being able to improvise weapons in this scenario. So Chica kills M3GAN here. And then we have Bonnie the Bunny. Now this fight is extremely one-sided. Bonnie is going to crush M3GAN here. I don't care what happens in this fight, M3GAN is not going to be killing Bonnie. Bonnie is going to eventually get a hold of M3GAN, and he's going to do what he did to that guy in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. He's going to slam her up against a wall or whatever he can and do it until she stops moving, okay? That is what Bonnie is going to do to M3GAN. M3GAN is not going to be able to do much to Bonnie except, like she did with Chica, damage the animatronic very slightly by punching dents and damaging the outer mascot shell of the character. That's it. Bonnie kills M3GAN. All right, Foxy the Pirate versus M3GAN is where things get interesting. Now, Foxy is incredibly damaged. He's an out-of-order animatronic, and his design reflects this, with the lower half of his endoskeleton being fully exposed on his legs, and he has damages and holes all throughout his mascot costume, exposing more of his endoskeleton, which M3GAN could use to her advantage, basically targeting these pinpoints on him, which would be weak. She could take out his legs and damage the exposed parts of his endoskeleton. However, even with his legs being taken out, Foxy would still be very erratic, as this is something that comes up consistently with his character in the books and in the games. Foxy is very erratic. So even without access to his legs, I can see Foxy writhing around, slashing with his hook, and chomping his jaws wildly. I think that if M3GAN were to successfully defeat and kill Foxy here, she'd have to take out his legs and take out his hook to properly be able to kill him. And I think the most that M3GAN is going to do in this fight is take out Foxy's legs, because Foxy is going to be waving his hook around manically after losing access to his legs. And I think Foxy would just basically grab M3GAN with his hook and his endoskeleton hand and hold her in place while he bites and stabs at her with his hook, basically killing her. So M3GAN could successfully kill Foxy in this fight. That is, if she's able to take out his leg successfully and then find a way to rip off his hook hand. Because Foxy is going to kill her if she is unable to do those things. So, undecided, I guess? We got Freddy Fazbear up against M3GAN, and Freddy is going to kill M3GAN here. There's no way that M3GAN is going to survive against Freddy Fazbear himself. I think M3GAN is going to be jumping around, flipping over Freddy, punching him, trying to get him in a chokehold, and she's going to, of course, tear up the mascot shell and maybe do some slight damage to the actual mechanical parts inside that make up the endoskeleton, but once Freddy gets a hold of her, it's done. He is going to absolutely demolish M3GAN. And I don't even need to talk about Golden Freddy, but I will. That's what you guys clicked on the video to see. So Golden Freddy is probably going to just absolutely just obliterate M3GAN, okay? He's got all of the scary, sketchy, spooky, ghostly powers to him, right? He's probably going to teleport around M3GAN. Maybe he'll do some, like, clone jitsu stuff and, like, make multiple versions of himself around M3GAN, make her confused and she doesn't know which is the real Golden Freddy. Maybe he'll, like, remove his head and, like, have his head float over to her and, like, bite her head off. Or maybe he'll use his spooky magic to, like, make her have a systems failure, force her to shut down or lose power. I don't know. But M3GAN is not going to be doing anything to Golden Freddy, as he's the strongest animatronic, and he has all of this super spooky paranormal energy and abilities to him, right? M3GAN is not going to be doing anything. M3GAN is going to be absolutely just destroyed by Golden Freddy. He's not even going to be able to touch her. There will be no paws swinging on behalf of Golden Freddy. He's just going to use his paranormal powers to dispatch M3GAN. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why M3GAN cannot defeat or even hope to kill the Fazbear Band. Freddy and the gang are going to body her, alright? M3GAN cannot do anything to them. They are big and they are strong. And even with the military grade upgrades that M3GAN received in M3GAN 2.0, I think M3GAN is still going to be absolutely bodied by the Fazbear Band. Anyway, that pretty much brings tonight's video to a close. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you like what you saw here, please consider subscribing and leaving a like, because I upload all kinds of nerd culture stuff here on the YouTube channel. We talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, we talk about action figures, so if you're into that, do consider subscribing, and with that, do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.